seemed like as the day went on, there was a bit of a crescendo when it came to those that I saw on social media and elsewhere who are paranoid about Jayson Tatum returning. You know, he said, I think the audio that we played yesterday, Shime, he was talking about coming back this season. And we talked briefly about that. And why would you ever, why would you want Jayson Tatum to come back when you have no chance whatsoever? If the guy wants to play and he's done, and his recovery seems to be moving along at a rapid rate,
right?
Like, why not let him play? You're big on this. You don't want him to play at all.
I think Courtney and I are in the same camp when it comes to this. I don't want him to play, only because I know an injury like that, will take a year, right, for you to feel comfortable to being back who you were. So why am I having him play in meaningless games when I could say continue to rehab, continue to feel comfortable?
Well, they're not meaningless to fans. They're not meaningless to the game. I mean,
but people know if you're buying a ticket this season to see the Celtics, you're not seeing Jayson Tatum. So, like, it's not like these people are going to be disappointed when they get there and Jayson Tatum's not on the court.
Right.
I agree with Wiggy. I don't want to see him this year. I don't want to necessarily say it's meaningless games because who knows? They could go out there and surprise everybody. And if that's the case, we'll have a different conversation in December and January. But right now, where we stand, what the team is in front of us,
my expectations look like this is going to be a meaningless season, right? Going in, who's going into it other than people that, listen, I love the Celtics like everybody else, but you're living in fantasy land if you're going into it like, okay, the Celtics could do damage this year, just looking at their team and looking at their roster. So I'm going into it like this is going to be a meaningless season. I don't want our best player and the guy that helps us win championships rushing back for some things that don't count.
And when did we find this all out? When did this story come out that maybe he'll play this year?
Tuesday, I think, is when he first started to talk about it.
I believe today they introduced Bill Chisholm, and they have media day on Monday.
Yeah.
The only way anybody's talking about the Celtics right now is surrounding Jayson Tatum because nobody believes the team's going to be a true contender without him. So this is just the organization trying to get some pub before the media day on Monday.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that he said that after in the immediate aftermath of the injury, he thought the Celtics were going to trade him, which I thought was interesting.
Oh, he said that?
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
Wow.
So.
Wow. What would make him think that?
Drew Bledsoe. I thought it was. I like how Tatum is so honest. I don't know. He's refreshing in those conversations. Like hearing him talk about his own mortality as a basketball player, how everything. Think about where they were entering the playoffs. They were the overwhelming favorite to win back-to-back championships. They breezed through the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're against the Knicks, who are inferior, and in Game 6, he goes down. Game 5, end of Game 5.
Game 5, yeah.
And it's like they're back at the bottom of the mountain. It's just so, it's crazy. Honestly, that was as demoralizing an end of a season as you can possibly get.
And I think it just shows you his value. The fact that he's out and everybody's like Curtis said, you're back at the bottom of the mountain. And I think, they could make the postseason. Could they be a playing team? Could they be a 7th seed? Yeah, but I don't think anybody.
What's their magic number?
I mean, I like these. Here's a text, Subaru of New England text line that says they should trade him. He will never be the same player that he was.
Great time to trade him. Wow, talk about value, you idiot.
Yeah, that would be. And that's why when he said it, he thought he was going to get traded. I'd be like, why? Why would any team want a guy who is just blew his Achilles out? So it would be stupid for the Celtics to do that. You wouldn't get much value.
And people saying that he's never going to be the same player. He's still so young. And Jayson Tatum, to me, I don't know him personally, but seems like a guy who works his ass off day in, day out. I think that he's going to do everything in his power to get back. It's not like an Aaron Rodgers where you're looking at this great talent who's at the tail end of his career. He's older. Jayson Tatum's in the prime right now.
Right.
Like that would be a tough way to go out if that's the case.
The way I look at it is Kevin Durant did the same thing, and Kevin Durant was older, and Kevin Durant came back, and he was the same player. Like Kevin Durant was the same player that he was before the injury, and he still looked at as, now granted, he don't win, the teams that he on are struggling, but I think there are a lot of people out there that still see Kevin Durant as being one of the top 10 basketball players in the NBA. So Tatum getting back to what he was, I don't see him not doing that. And the other thing, and I heard it might have been Gilbert Arenas talking about this, is that it was his right leg, which is not his power jumping off leg, and Tatum's not really known for being like an explosive jumper. So this is something that might not affect him as much as if it was his left leg because he's a one-footed jumper. So, there's a lot that goes into that, and seeing that, and you look at Tatum's game, you go, oh, okay, he does a lot of things.
Well, he did talk about his he's back to his first basketball, quote unquote, basketball workout.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he says he has a date. He and his doctor agreed on a date that he wanted to make his return. And so, I guess the question becomes, if you're the Celtics, do you say sorry? We appreciate the effort, but I don't think you can tell Jayson Tatum.
Well,
if he worked his ass off to come back from the Achilles, I don't think you can tell him that you don't want him playing.
You know what the biggest question I would ask, Greg, and I would feel comfortable, and I don't know it, and I know guys have blown out their Achilles, but I've never asked, what does the doctor say about re-injuring that? Is it harder to do? Because sometimes it's harder to re-injure after surgery.
Yeah.
So if it's a lot harder, then I wouldn't feel as bad.
This is Ed from Maine. Hello, Ed.
How are you guys? Listen, there's no way he is not going to play this year. I'm a fat, out of shape, 62-year-old that tore my Achilles last year. I didn't put the work in. I feel like $1 million. He's going to play. And, Wiggy, to answer your question, with surgery, there's and look it up, as they say, put it in the Googs. It's 5 to 8% chance of re-tearing it with surgery, and it's about 9 to 13% chance of re-tearing it without surgery. But he's putting the work in with the best care, the best doctors. There's no way with his heart he's not going to play. He's going to be completely fine. He's a young kid. Now, hey, I'm not 6'10" either. His Achilles is probably as long as my inseam, but
how's your crossover,
fine, fellas.
Ed? How's your crossover?
I'm so good. I'm not even a weekend hero anymore. I mean, it's terrible, but I tell you, he's going to play. I know he's going to play. I can run, I can jump, and he's going to be fantastic.
Ed,
I can't even wait.
How did you do it?
So, all right. So I was. I did a split on a dance floor, and then the next day, I'm like, oh man, maybe I just pulled my calf. So I went for a run, and I freaking tripped and jacked up my Achilles. So I came home that night from a national sales meeting, and my wife's like, you got to go to the hospital. I'm like, nah, man, it's good. I'm good. And it wasn't good, fellas. It wasn't good. But
there has to be an age limit in which at which point you stay off the dance floor.
Right. Like, what number cocktail?
I don't know.
Ed
seems like a legend.
Yeah.
I kind of.
But when you go into the split, that's like next level dance world move. That's like James Brown world.
Do we remember the Nard Dog did that?
I was watching Wiggy do his break dance. Wiggy inspired me with his break dance in the end zone. So I don't know. I should hang up those things. But my daughter's getting married in a week, and I think the split's expected. So, if Tatum can come back, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Never,
all right, fellas.
All right.
Never get into the split.
Ed's going to be like Andy Bernard with the ice on the scrotum at Tim's wedding.
Yeah, we'll be it. Yeah. But we have our own in-house person that's dealing with it, right? Isn't Baseball Brett dealing with it?
Yeah.
And he had got. Oh, but he's. I think I saw him this weekend. I think he's out of the booth.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah,
he was after Tatum, so it'll be hard.
All
right. Well, that guy said he can still do everything. So if the doctors are saying it's, the percentage of re-injuring is very low, then I got no issues with him playing then.
This is Doug from Southie. Hello, Doug.
What's going on, guys? Good morning.
What's up?
Courtney, I just want to say congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
There's nothing better in the world for you guys. I'm so happy for you guys. On the Patriots, Wiggy, real quick, how long do you think that it's going to take Vrabel to kind of turn this, DNA around? I mean, there is nobody on this roster anymore that I can think of at least that was part of the success with Brady and Belichick. They don't have that winning DNA in their system right now. Are we too hard on Vrabel early on? It's going to take some serious time to kind of turn this thing around. I'll hang up and listen, guys.
Yeah.
But I thought the DNA it's not about Belichick Brady DNA no more. It's now about Vrabel's guys that he brought in.
Okay, but you have to give him, the place was in disarray. You have to give him a little bit of time here.
Yeah, but we didn't give Gerard any
I understand that, but Gerard Mayo had never done, going back and saying we didn't give Gerard Mayo this or that doesn't matter.
Right, but these are Vrabel's guys. When you look at
some of them are.
There's a good portion of them.
Splain, Moses,
Basically, when you look at the whole offensive line is all Vrabel's guys other than Onwenu, right? Now, you start to look at that situation. Steph Diggs, the wide receiver room, you bring him in, you bring in Mac Hollins. Those are the veterans in that locker room, in that offensive meeting room that are bringing in the
Travion Henderson, Kyle Williams.
But those guys are young, so I won't even put it on them. But the vets that you brought in to make it Vrabel's culture, defensively, we know it's all over the place. So the whole, they still got that losing DNA. Yeah, there are still some guys that were on the team.
Is it his culture offensively, or did they force an offensive coordinator on him that he didn't want?
Now, that is a question for the ages. That is the $1 million question because I know where Shime stands.
Yes, you do.
I don't know. I don't really know. But Vrabel will tell us everything he's done is what he wanted to do.
Yeah. And the way he talks about Josh is glowingly.
Right.
Anytime
I wouldn't say that.
I mean, Shime once brought up trying to make it about Josh when anytime you bring up Drake with Mike Vrabel, he talks about Josh.
But
after week one, we were talking about an imbalance when it came to your plays offense wise, and he was like, I think that essentially, I think there should be more balance there.
That was after week one. I think the last 2 weeks he's been very, very positive.
But
we'll need a more consistent, fine-tuned run plan that we believe in and quit worrying about some things.
See, the thing I would
have a run plan in which the running back doesn't fumble the football. That's what we're working on.
I think the question, Greg, and
those are hard.
If you would have asked me, before the season, do you think Josh McDaniels is the offensive coordinator for Vrabel's team? I would have told you no, because there's no connection there. So the fact that he did become the offensive coordinator, I don't really know where that connection came from.
Well, it came from, I think Curtis will tell you, because he's cheap.
Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's being paid by the Raiders. Tom Brady's paying his salary.
Yeah, but you could have paid, for example, Todd Downing, who's the wide receiver coach, who was the offensive coordinator for Vrabel in Tennessee. He wouldn't have cost you a lot of money.
Same with Thomas Brown, the passing game coordinator.
Right. So, those guys wouldn't have cost you a lot of money. So when you look at that situation.
But I think that the reason that we have Josh McDaniels here is because Robert Kraft saw what happened with autonomous control in Bill Belichick. So it's important for Kraft to have some people that are not directly tied to Vrabel in positions of power inside the organization so that it's not, quote, siloed. I think that at the end of the year, Vrabel has a couple fall people, but McDaniels would be the number one fall guy to fire because maybe, I don't know when the Raiders contract expires. So maybe next year he's going to actually cost $4 to $5 million and they put Downing in that spot. And then you got Drake May with 6 coordinators in 6 years or whatever it is.